Take a look at the prelim section and take a quick look at this article, smaller articles. On page number 1 we have an article referring to Navika. In the article says that the Indian version of GPS, which is called Navik, or the IRN, Indian Regional Satellite, IRNSS navigation satellite, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite, IRNSS. So the Navik would be linked to other enrollment devices. According to this report, see, when other enrollment is being carried out, the people who are involved in the enrollment process, they carry your enrollment device where they enter all the details, and they also geotech the location where the registration is taking place. Today many government services are delivered through the other enabled platforms. So marking the location of where the Aadhaar is issued, right, where the Aadhaar card is being used is critical in ensuring transparency of the entire Aadhaar based system. Previously, for geotagging the GPS data from us, GPS system was being used. GPS, or global positioning system, is a constellation of American satellites, around 36 plus satellites in geostationary orbit that provides for the positioning and navigational information. Now India has developed its own regional version of this navigation system called Navika, or IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. This is a constellation of around 7 satellites that is being developed and deployed by ISRO. And where the 3 satellites are placed in the geostationary orbit, where the satellites appear to be fixed from a given ground position, and 4 satellites have been placed with the geosynchronous orbit. So these 7 satellites, this constellation that is represented here, provides for navigation and positioning information across the Indian subcontinent. It covers a range of 1500 kilometers around the Indian subcontinent. It covers almost West Asia, Central Asia, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and part of Indian Ocean. So in a range of 1500 kilometers around India, has developed a regional satellite navigation system quite similar to GPS of the US. Is that clear? Of course, India hasn't gone for a global constellation of satellite as of now, because the cost expenditure would be very high to have a global positioning system like US. Do you need at least 36 plus satellites in orbit as of now? India may not able to afford that, so India has prioritized a regional navigation system, and this serves just as application, military application. In fact, push for Navik came up when during the Kargil war, the US denied access to GPS navigation system to launch our guided missile against the positions like that the Pakistani troops had occupied illegally in Kargil. This was a strategic setback for India. Following this, India began development of its own regional navigation system, and we are trying to reduce our dependency on foreign satellites for positioning and navigation information, because it's not just about civilian application. These satellites serve as critical military application as well, to guide the fighter jet, submarines, and even missiles to their targets. Is it clear? Now please take up more exercise similar to GPS of US. Even European Union, Russia and China, even they have deployed a similar global positioning system, and they have a different name. Please identify the names of the global positioning systems of European Union, Russia and China. Post that in the comments below. Is that clear? India's regional satellites navigation system is called Navik. The GPS is of US is similarly. European Union, Russia, China have their own global positioning system. Please find out the name and post it in the comment section. Next, we have a small development regarding the ongoing cases of Supreme Court. Regarding the removal of special status of Jammu and Kashmir under Article 370. This change that was done in 2019 has been challenged with the Supreme Court for its constitutional validity. Right? The petitioner was arguing that removal of special status of Jammu and Kashmir under Article 370 was unconstitutional, and they are challenging a very premise. They are challenging the method and the process in which it was removed. So in this outgoing case, Chief Justice of India has made a very important observation that I would like to bring into your notice. The Chief Justice of India has said that Jammu and Kashmir completely submitted its sovereignty to Indian dominion during the independence, when the Raja Hari Singh signed the instrument of accession. Merged with the Indian Romanian of course under difficult circumstances. Because of one point, Raja Hari Singh has opted for independence and has chosen not to join India or Pakistan. It was an option allowed under the Indian Independence Act, but as Pakistan invaded Jammu and Kashmir through a tribal military invasion and tried to capture J&K for itself, Raja Hari Singh, the then ruler of J&K, without any choice sought India's assistance and completely acceded J&K and into the Indian Union. So while signing the instrument of accession, Raja Hari Singh and the next leader of J&K, they sought a special status to protect the people of J&K and their rights and culture under the protect the right and culture given the difficult circumstance under which the joined India. So this led to the Delhi Agreement being signed between Prime Minister Nehru and Sheikh Abdullah and then leader of Jammu and Kashmir, which ensured that residual legislative powers were vested with the J&K's assembly and not with the parliament. If you look at the center and state relation for other states, when it comes to residuary legislative powers, that is subjects apart from your state list, your union list and concurrent list, those residual list as far as law making is concerned lies with the union government according to the Indian constitution. For all other state residuary powers are not with the state assemblies until the powers union government has it given the special constitution. It was allowed to have its own constitution with the J&K assembly. J&K government were given a few special powers as far as subjects was concerned. So petitioner was arguing that this marks an element of sovereignty of its own to the J&K assembly. So petitioner arguing that the special status could not be revoked by the union government without the consent of J&K state legislative assembly. But the Chief Justice of India has dismissed this claim, saying that Jammu and Kashmir has completely submitted its sovereignty to the Indian dominion when it merged with India by signing the instrument of accession. Just because a special status was granted with regard to making law in few subjects does not mean that India didn't have any sovereignty over J&K. Is that clear? So of course the parliament powers were restricted in few subjects where the J&K assembly had given an exclusive power in order to protect the uniqueness of the Jammu and Kashmir, to protect the rights of peoples of J&K. That is why the article 35 of was added. AOS added to this does not mean that does not mean that J&K did not have the complete sovereignty over that. That is, the Chief Justice had retreated in his ongoing case. He had said that J&K surrendered its complete sovereignty absolutely to the Indian dominion. There is no question over it. Is that clear? Special status was granted just to provide better administration at the local level, to allow some subjects to be governed by the state, but the state assembly in the government to look after the welfare of the people. It was no challenge or no threat to the Indian sovereignty at any point, according to the Chief Justice of India. Next, India, Japan are going to contemplating joint efforts to revive some of their projects in Sri Lanka. Few years before, India were jointly looking to develop the Eastern Container Terminal port at the Colombo port. Prior to the 2019, when India Japan had a good relation with Sri Lanka under the friendly government, Eastern Container Terminal, which is a strategic terminal of Colombo port, was awarded to India and Japan for joint development under their Asia-Africa Growth Corridor Initiative. Asia-Africa Growth Corridor Initiative is an India-Japan initiative to counter the China's Belt and Road Resetter. But when the Rajapakse brothers have come back to the power in 2020, then the president of Sri Lanka, goodbye to the Rajapakse, was seen as a pro-China leader, cancelled this project and took it away from India to Japan, and Japan awarded this project to China. So obviously India and Japan were upset about the cancellation of this critical project. India and Japan were collaborating to invest heavily in the Sri Lanka to develop the important connectivity projects, including this East Container Terminal. But now, as Sri Lanka went through an economic crisis, India and Japan were the one who helped out Sri Lanka. We again have a friendly government which is headed by Ronald Wickremesinghe. All right, so as India started giving economic assistance along with Japan, India's Adani Group was awarded the Western Container Terminal project to please India, since the East Container Terminal project was taken away from India and Japan and given to China, who sought India's help in 2020-2021 to overcome the financial crisis. They tried to please India by giving the West Container Terminal project to India's Adani Group. Now Japan, which has felt left out, has been working with India to revive this joint collaborative projects in Sri Lanka. Is that clear? Japan also given an assistance to Sri Lanka during the crisis, the economic crisis, and now India, Japan are working together to come out with a new projects and initiative, including power projects, railway projects, port projects, etc. They are looking to develop the solar and wind projects as well. They are looking to develop a oil pipeline near the Trincomalee port, so that all projects are being considered by the India, Japan as a part of the joint collaborative initiative to increase their investment in the Sri Lanka. The last article for today on page 16 is that the National Commission for Minorities in a news regarding the controversial death of a student in Rajasthan. The case itself is not relevant for the exam, but the National Commission for Minorities is very, very important for your prelims. See, to protect the minorities in the country, to uphold their constitutional rights and legal rights, a minority commission was set up in 1978 under the Home Ministry. Is that clear? This was a commission that was set up through a government resolution to look at the minority affairs and protect their rights. In 1984, the Minority Commission was moved and shifted into the Ministry of Welfare. It was shifted under the Ministry of Welfare, and later it was transformed into the National Commission of Minorities through the NCM Act, which has given its statutory status. Through this law enacted by the Parliament, the Minority Commission was transformed into the National Commission for Minorities. It was established in 1993 to protect and uphold the rights of all religious minorities in the country. It excludes the linguistic minorities. It focuses primarily on religious minorities. So under this law, National Commission for Minorities Act 1992, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, Parsis were recognized as a religious minority religion in the country. Recently in 2014, Jains have also added to this community. So this commission essentially looks after the well-beings of this minority community in India to uphold their constitutional legal rights. And the commission consists of chairperson, vice chairperson, 5 members appointed by central government. They have a tenure of 3 years. And the primary responsibility of the commission is to inquire into the well-beings of the religious minority in the country. It ensures that the constitutional rights and the legal rights guaranteed are implemented. It also helps in the implementation of the Prime Minister's 15-year program for the welfare of the minorities. Then it also inquires into any cases of communal riots targeting of these religious minorities. All such incidents where there is a religious discrimination, a communal discrimination done, they are investigated by the National Commission for Minorities. This is the primary role of the statutory body which has been set up through this law. Is that clear? So this completes the discussion of the today's newspaper. Take up these questions for your mains answer writing practice. I hope you guys have liked today's session. Do let us know in the comments and press the like button, and also head to the, because you will have to practice this mains question and conclude my discussion. That it is for today. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Take up the questions. What is the deflation? Examine the current inflationary trends in India. US with a spotlight on deflationary trend in China. India's official rhetoric, a commitment to democracy in Myanmar, is in contrast with its policy framed through the lens of its security and concerns in the northeastern India and relation with China critically discussed. That's all for today. Thank you. Thanks for watching.